August is Jack Kirby month, ladies and gentlemen. August 28th is his birthday, and I figure, what the heck? Let's celebrate by doing some Jack Kirby books, or, in this case, some Jack Kirby tributes. Hey, True Believers, England Teen here, and a few years back for Jack Kirby's 100th birthday, DC Comics put out a whole bunch of these Jack Kirby tributes. This one was written by Howard Chaykin. It's Newsboy Legions and Boy Commandos, and I was really looking forward to this one. My brother and I actually split these books. I reviewed two, and he reviewed two. This was one I was so looking forward to, I actually let him have Mr. Miracle so I could get it. I'm a fan of the Golden Age stories. I enjoyed them. I've got one Boy Commandos comic from 1946 on my wall right behind me here. I really enjoyed these. So when I heard Howard Chaykin, who had done Black Hawk such a great service, was getting them, like, all right, good job, let's go. I am interested to see where this could go, because this could be a very dark version of Boy Commandos and Newsboy Legion. Let's go, let's pull out the stops, and let's get this party started. I wish I could tell you this book was excellent and great, or I wish I could tell you this book was horrible and bad. Unfortunately, and there are bad parts in this, trust me, it's just boring. That's the biggest crime of all. It's just boring. It's not memorable. And let me tell you, if you are a new reader, and I'm sure most of you would be, this does not help you at all. Howard, you gotta let people know who these characters are, what their motivations are, so they understand. This is a thick book. You've got plenty of pages to do that, and I know you got a huge cast, but help the reader out, and that happens nowhere in here, and it kind of can leave the reader confused about who is who and why they're doing what they're doing. And it's not accessible artistically either. Look at the color palette. It's brown, it's blue. It looks like a Zack Snyder movie that decided in some places wants to be Norman Rockwell, so it fades into the heavy browns. And to tell you the truth, and this may just be me, I need new glasses, I'm a little bit older, but when they have the beige in the black writing and everything, I actually have a hard time reading that. But that's just me. Let's get back to the book, where I can say another problem is, much like Howard Chaykin's Divided States book, I know it came out a while back, I'm probably getting it wrong, he throws in a lot of his politics in there, and my goodness, if you're a communist, you're going to love this, because there are pages that flat out defend communism. Now, this is, of course, in the 40s and 50s, when that would have gotten you trip to hook, but it's amazing to me that he couldn't let it go for a Jack Kirby book. He had to just jab it in and twist the knife. And then the most egregious part, to me anyway, was when the newsboys find a dead Nazi. And they're like, oh, I wish the Nazis would start bumping each other off. And then one turns to the reader and says, you get my drift? Yeah, Howard, I've been doing this for 5 years now, and I do know that you are one of those who believe that if somebody disagrees with you, they are Nazi. Therefore, now you're saying they should kill themselves, or at least during the release of this book. I get it. You're hateful. As a matter of fact, I've gotten it for a long time. A lot of people are hateful, and they think anybody who disagrees with them should die. Sorry, maybe it's just me, and I understand Captain America first panel, boom, punching Hitler in the face, but that was an actual Nazi, not somebody who believes chocolate is better than strawberry. And once again, I'm sorry, I just don't think it belongs in a Jack Kirby tribute book. And look, I get it. It's Howard Chaykin. He's always been a political writer. He's always been kind of a political artist. But in this case, it would have just been so nice to enjoy the medium for the medium, to enjoy these characters in the style that Jack Kirby had created them, just for the fun of it, for the old-time fun of it. In the end, instead of being about Jack Kirby, instead of being about the Newsboys or the Boy Commandos, this book is a tribute, not to Jack Kirby, as I said. This is a tribute to communism. It is a tribute to socialism. It is a tribute to Howard Chaykin's politics. And that's where it falls flat. And I wish I could tell you it was horrible and oh my gosh, this is something to rip apart page by page. But when it comes right down to it, it was just dull. Very, very dull. That being said, in the back of the book, there is a Jack Kirby reprint of an actual Golden Age Newsboy Legion, And frankly, I would buy an omnibus of these things. They're a lot of fun. I've got a lot on digital, as a matter of fact. I think I got them all. And there's a lot of fun to be had with these comics. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of golden age silliness in this book, but damn, it's still a lot of fun. It's well written. We all know it's well drawn. It's Jack Kirby in the golden age. Are you kidding me? Okay, maybe Black Magic Jack Kirby not as well, but this is the golden age Jack Kirby, and it's awesome. So we have the Newsboy Legion. They decide, and we do find out that the Guardian is actually their guardian, but we have the Newsboy Legion. They want to make a comic book, so they do. Problem, it comes a little bit too close to the truth. The local mob boss believes that they know something about him because what they wrote in the comic actually happened. So he goes after the Legion, and of course, chaos ensues. It's a lot of fun. It's very entertaining. It's enjoyable. And if they put these backup stories, if they put this backup story somewhere, I would say you should get it. Attached to the book, unfortunately, it's a gem that's been buried unless you can find the Golden Age story. Next up, we're going to talk about the Black Racer Shiloh Norman Mr. Miracle special. And for the uninitiated, the Black Racer is kind of a darker version of Jack Kirby's other creation, the Silver Surfer, but he is more of a herald of death for characters in New Genesis and Apocalypse, appearing, of course, in the Fourth World books created by Jack Kirby. Shiloh Norman, on the other hand, was Robin to Mr. Miracle's Batman. He appeared towards the end of the 1970s run of Mr. Miracle. He ended up witnessing a gangland murder and was taken under the wing of Mr. Miracle for protection and started training to be an escape artist himself, just like Scott Free, the original Mr. Miracle. One thing that set Mr. Miracle, or Shiloh Norman Mr. Miracle, and the Black Racer apart from other characters is that they were black. In the 1970s, that was still a big thing. Yeah, you had Black Panther, you had Falcon, they were created in the 1960s and such, but the black characters just were not prolific in the 1970s as much as they are now. But it is also something, by the way, to note that Kirby had created a lot of, if not most, of the black characters that were around in the 1970s. And another thing that set these characters apart, at least from the characters of New Genesis and Apocalypse, is that they're humans from Earth. Granted, Black Racer is a cosmic entity, but he did merge himself with a human, a Vietnam War veteran who had been shot in the spine called Willie Walker. Willie Walker. Too soon. Okay. And it's these commonalities, the fact that they're black, the fact that they're humans, taking place in this huge apocalypse story between New Genesis and Apocalypse, on which Reginald Hudlin had based this story. So we see Norman, he's taken the mantle of Mr. Miracle, which he's done before. This is DC canon. And he's going to perform an escape that's been rigged to ensure his death. So the Black Racer shows up, and he confirms it. Now, of course, Mr. Miracle doesn't plan on dying. He plans on working himself through this. And, of course, Black Racer refuses to take a soul unjustly. So you have two characters that are really kind of fighting up against their own nature. In all honesty, Mr. Miracle and Black Racer here, this book does serve as a really good introduction to these characters, while being its own decent adventure story. Now, it does have a lot of that scientific mumbo-jumbo kind of like mystical science that would permeate all sorts of Jack Kirby books. So it does feel like a Jack Kirby book. And yet it still doesn't fall trap to a lot of the things that mumbo-jumbo science books did in the past. And this book does have moments of levity, even though it is a deadly serious book. If I were to fault it at all, it's that Reginald Hudlin has a hard time writing black characters without having any kind of interaction where the white people come off as racist dickheads. Seriously, you came very close to just having a book with two black characters and it being awesome. And by that, I mean that you almost told a story where race did not matter. It just had black people in it. All you need to do is write them as characters, that's all, and there you go, you have a book. But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem, of course, is the guy who set Mr. Miracle up to die is Travis Donald, a dead rigger for Donald Trump, who is described as a hotel and casino billionaire. and he gets away with it because a black flunky takes the fall for him. To be honest, this may just be my own sensitivity, and, you know, if you live a life looking for this kind of thing, you're going to find it. The message is kind of subtle in the book, so it may be on me and not the writer himself. Yet somehow I doubt it. Thankfully, though, none of that really bothers the book. It doesn't bother the story. You could get along and not even notice that kind of thing. So it also helps that there's a lot of cameos from other Jack Kirby characters like Commandy and Brother Eye. And like the other book, you get the Young Gods of Supertown this time around. I love this title, by the way, and it reprints the older stories. It is a lot of fun, and I do recommend you check these out. I do believe it's Fastback that this one stars. Anyway, once again, it's got a lot of good old silliness that we love in comics, and I highly recommend you at least check these out. They're a lot of fun, and I also recommend this Black Racer and Mr. Miracle book. I think you'll have a lot of fun with that, too. That's our opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Also, click on one of the videos that are popping up around you here. You might actually like that one as well. Make sure to click like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon. The link's in the description below. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.